everybody, Arthur from Caster Society here. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you want to see more content like this in the future and you want to support us, please subscribe, like the video, check out our social media pages seen down below, and enjoy the content. Thank you very much.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Cross the Pond, aka Chris, over at Caster Society, and we have a fabulous interview for all of you today. And when I say fabulous, I mean in every sense of the word. This is someone who, I don't know if it was her first Metazoo event, but it couldn't have been too many times that she'd played the game. But she got top 32 in Caster Cup. She is an Emmy award-winning something, and we'll get into that something during the interview. I'm joined by Emonee LaRussa. Did I say that right? Emonee LaRussa?
Emonee. Yeah.
Crushed it. Emonee, welcome to the Caster Society channel. We are thrilled to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We instantly, Sunday evening, we're kind of doing a retro of Caster Cup. So this is the Sunday after your top 32. And first thing on deck was, okay, we have to interview her. Like we have to get her story and send it out to everybody because you have a really fascinating background. Maybe we can start there, like TCGs and Metazoo aside. Tell us about you. What are you up to? Kind of what's been going on in your world, and what do you like to do?
Yeah, so I'm a two-time Emmy award-winning motion graphics artist and director. Thank you. Predominantly worked on music visuals for artists like Kanye West, Meg Thee Stallion, Lil Nas X, and just making anything that can be animated in music. That's what I work on. And I actually been pursuing like NFTs for the past year and a half, almost 2 years now. And it's been crazy. I'm just a digital artist who plays Metazoo on my free time. And it's kind of
wins.
All been so crazy.
Plays and wins. Well, I want to put a pin in the NFT conversation because obviously Metazoo and NFTs are kind of hand in hand. But I'm really curious, given that list of artists that you've worked with, who is the artist that you had a preconception, this is how they're going to be, but in reality, it was like totally different? Like who was the farthest from what you would have expected when you met them?
I would say I've been more I don't know, working with musicians, you kind of have to take yourself out of fangirling and be professional and stuff.
Right.
But there's an artist, FKA Twigs, who just I already liked her as a person, her music and stuff. But then I started talking to her she asked for some revisions on a piece, and it was she's just an angel. She's just such a great person. And she's like, hey, this is what I would like to add to it. This is why, this is my creative take on it. And a lot of times musicians, you play middleman games. So it's a musician wants this, but you have to talk to this person who's going to talk to this person who's going to let you know what they want. And so that was interesting. And Kanye West, I kind of expected him to have his entire foot in the project, but he was just yeah, I love it. It looks cool. And I was just okay.
That's, what though, that doesn't surprise me as much. They say the best CEOs surround themselves with people that are smarter or better than them, and then just let them do their thing. So I could totally see that being the secret to Kanye's success. Hire good people and just let them do their thing.
Yeah, I know. And it's it's a great thing because you let artists be artists. You hired them for a reason.
Right.
But it's another thing too of we need to make sure we have clear direction on this, because if it's not good, then there's going to be a lot of fixing in the end. So it's you got to find the balance.
Did you get into NFTs because of an interaction with an artist? What was the transition from creating visual experiences for music and then going into NFT land? What was the connection?
Yeah. So like I said, I was making concert graphics, and a lot of times my passion is being in the music industry. But with that, not every project pays the bills.
Sure.
And so I would make like fan art pieces for Instagram, and like in hopes that like a new artist that I'm trying to work with will see it, or like new followers will come, or that will potentially lead to more business. And then NFTs came out, and or it became more of an apparent
More of a
thing.
mainstream,
And I
like
was like,
culturally relevant thing.
yeah. And I was like, I could get paid for these passion projects. Like it's no longer just like likes and followers. Like it is like straight down to business.
$1 bill,
And
y'all. That's awesome.
for real, like it completely has changed my life. Like without NFTs, I wouldn't, I was like stressed out. I was working all the time. And granted, I work on a lot of projects that I love, but then I also work on a lot of projects I fucking hate. And like, it's just like now I'm just only working on projects that I love. Like I'm not doing anything else but that. And it just feels like if you had told me like a few years ago, like, oh, so in the future, you'll be able to make your own passion projects and get paid for it. It's like, okay, cool.
Like, get out of here.
Digital money too.
So it's interesting you say that, because we have a head of art in the Caster Society group. His name is Sean. And Sean and I have talked about how artists come to this realization when they decide they want to do it professionally, that for a period of time, it may mean they do stuff they hate, because that's what pays the bills. But that like ultimate goal is to find a way to only do things you love and still get paid for it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's NFTs for you.
Yeah, like there's this book called The Freelance Manifesto. Like if anyone's getting into freelancing, I'd suggest you get it. But it basically is like there's pain projects and then there's rainbow projects. Rainbow projects are the fucking projects that make you so happy and they're so cool and fun. But then the pain projects are the ones that just kill you, but they pay the bills.
I was about to say, like, and the money that you get paid, there's probably an inverse relationship. Like the more rainbow, the less cash.
Yeah.
The more pain, the more golden handcuffs that they have to tie to.
More money, but you feel like you're selling your soul.
Yeah, you hate yourself.
Yeah.
It's amazing how light corporate America that is. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite NFT project that you've worked on? And then maybe one that you haven't worked on, but you're like, man, that one's really cool. The art's great.
I think that with NFTs, there's just so much potential for opportunities that I more so see like the benefits of what NFTs bring as a whole, rather like than individual projects. Like I feel like never before have people been able to create like generational wealth. Like if you had told me like before, like, oh, you need to invest your money into stocks, like that was the only way that it seemed.
And that would make
like,
sense. Like no one would bat an eye at that. Like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's we have.
Yeah. And so when you think about like art and digital artists, like digital artists are the future of art. Like everything, majority of the things that we consume is digital art. And so the fact that artists now are being like looked at as valuable, I think is just so amazing within itself. So as a whole, I see so many things that come out of NFTs, but I love that. I love also when people like want to create a project and like donate funds to like a certain like group of people or like communities and stuff. I feel like I've never seen that in like the normal traditional art world.
Right.
And like I feel like digital, like the like Web3 is more like community based more than I've ever seen any community. Granted, there's always bad people in every group, but people that I've surrounded myself by, I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by really awesome people who like care about everyone else. So
I've experienced that in the NFT projects that I'm in, because I've been in a couple that have been like short-term financially lucrative, but I've also been in some that are absolute flops. Like my favorite example, because I dragged everyone in Caster Society into it. If you go on our Discord, most of us have one of these as our profile picture. It's Digi Dragons. So I got everybody in because they look so cool. And it was like, oh, they've got this cool gaming roadmap and they're going to have this party in Vegas in December. And it's like now everyone's lost all their money. However, everyone in the Digi Dragon server that is an OG is like ride or die for the rest of the people that are in that server. It's so fascinating. I don't know if it galvanizes you and it's like, oh, we all got wrecked,
Brings
so
you
we're all best
together.
buddies.
Yeah.
We've all experienced this. But it is, you're right, it does cultivate good community. And on the other side, when you talk about kind of how the digital artist is becoming the artist of the future, my partner works at Meta, the company that owns Instagram and Facebook, and there is so much focus and investment on the metaverse and this manifestation of augmented reality and virtual reality, and that being the future of where we spend most of our time. So digital arts, if that proves out to be kind of the next social experiment that we do, social media was probably the last big one, and now maybe it's metaverse. If that does become more mainstream, digital artists are only going to become more in demand. It's only going to be more high value.
Yeah, no, with my pieces in particular, I make them 1080 by 1920, which is the traditional phone size, because my thought process is in comparison to like a physical painting, you are more likely to see your screensaver than you are to see like a physical painting in your house. And like this whole idea of like, you're just consuming this art like all the time. Like, why not be able to change it out? Why not be able to save it forever? Like, it just, it blows my mind, like how many like people are in the NFT space and see all the different possibilities.
Well, I think of, because I'm a Windows guy, I think of the Microsoft Windows photos on the login screen. Like there's like 10 or 11 or 12 landscapes that were professionally photographed, and everyone can resonate with those photos. Like I promise you've seen that image more than you watch or see images of your kids. 100%. Well, speaking of NFTs and Metazoo, did you get a Metazoo NFT? Is that a project that you're looking at? These new profile pictures that are coming out in late June. What's your take on Metazoo in the NFT world?
So I love that Metazoo is a part of the NFT space, because for so long I've been in like 3 different communities. I've been in the motion graphics community, been in the NFT community, and Metazoo community. And now they just merged together, and like being a part of both of them is just really cool. But the fact that I feel like Metazoo is able to catch on to what people are wanting, I just love that. Like, it really says that, and I'm not gonna like bash like Pokemon or anything, but for me, I feel like it's always been like vintage, like it's nostalgic. It's like, this is why you love it so much, almost to a point where it's like detrimental to where there's like no moving forward. And I feel like with Metazoo, and this is just my opinion, like I just think that with them being so on trend,
cutting edge.
As
far as TCG, like when you talk about TCGs as brands trying to be culturally relevant and thought leadership-ish, Metazoo's got to be at that top of the food chain. Because you talk about the getting involved with street label brands like Denmark and DeBrews, and then you talk about NFT world. I think they're going to be the first ones that do a really successful NFT-based online trading card game, and that's going to inspire a lot of other games to start doing more online stuff. They're very, very culture forward.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, who knows? Maybe there could be a Metazoo / Emonee collab one day. Who knows?
Could be. Mike Waddell, I know you're watching this, or if not, somebody else at Metazoo's watching it. They're going to tell you that I shouted you out and said, holler at Emonee. Top 32 would probably be a good look to say you're partnering with a 2-time Emmy Award winner to come up with, I don't know, maybe the next Times Square ad. Maybe you do who could say that was actually a really interesting experience for me. So I work full time for a company that's headquartered out of Montclair, New Jersey. And I drove over to Times Square to be able to get my photo, in front of the Times Square ad so I could get my Rat King promo. And I was struck by just how many NFT projects were being advertised on Times Square.
Oh yeah. I was there for NFT NYC last year, November.
Easton and I are going this year, by the way. Are you going?
I'm going.
Okay, Easton and I talked about it. The guy who got first place, we're going this year. Yeah, we're really excited.
Okay, we need to we'll
definitely hook up for sure.
For sure. Yeah, we'll talk.
Well, your people call my
but
people. Yeah.
have your people
We'll put
call
it
my
in the calendar.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like I felt like I was just driving down the street and all these NFTs. I'm like, I know that, but these people don't know this. Like, this is just crazy.
Yeah, it's
weird.
It's really interesting, and it's kind of cool to see how it's becoming so mainstream that everyone knows about it. And that's how I think NFTs are winning. It's the same reason I think that Metazoo is winning. People either love or hate NFTs. There's really no in between.
Yep.
You either think they're awesome, or you're so mad that you're not involved, or you're just so skeptical that you hate it.
Yeah.
But as you will probably know, or at least I've experienced this, that barrier between love and hate is so thin, and you can cross so quickly. So all it takes is one little experience for somebody. I'll be honest, I was an absolute NFT detractor until the Metazoo NFT project. And that's where I experienced the first bit of like utility associated to an NFT. And then I started realizing this really is like a digital membership card that you can transact on a secondary market with absolute confidence. Like, okay, now this is pretty interesting. And then I went so deep and so irresponsibly down the NFT rabbit hole. I am like in deep.
I had a friend buy a whole bunch of ApeCoin when it was like high, and there was like a project that was coming out and that told their dad, like, you have to buy into this.
Yeah, mortgage
and, like,
to house.
Day, it just tanked. And he was like, I can't even talk to my dad anymore. I was like,
I know.
Oh no.
That's the dark side of NFT that fuels the skepticism. But then you've got it's the same as anything, right? If something's really volatile, if you can, spend $100 today and then sell for $1,000 in a week, it's just as likely that you could sell for $1 in a week. But there are a lot of NFT projects that maintain, I think, a responsible level of confidence. The Metazoo NFTs is a really good example of that, where they've maintained a strong floor, they have good utility. And those are the types of NFT projects that I think, even if we go into a recession, which I'm pretty confident we will, those will still survive. Those will.
Wait, we're not in a recession right now. Holy shit.
I don't. I think the economic term for recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP.
Oh, okay.
And we're either in the second quarter or we just had the second quarter. We're in a recession. Yeah, we'll say.
We'll
say that. We're calling it here. But I think a lot of people are saying recession is what's going to kill all the NFT projects. I could not disagree more. I think there are going to be some really strong ones that just ride right through the storm.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people with a lot of money, and I think there's a lot more people like that than there are that we think don't exist, that actually do exist. And I feel like these projects are like built on faith. These projects are built on like trust. And I feel like there's a lot of projects that have a lot of good shit that is going to come in the end.
Totally.
And like with the utility of like all the Metazoo tokens, like why would anyone ever trade that? Like, and I feel like there's a lot of projects that are also like that too. And it keeps people invested. Like, I want to know what's next. Like, it's so minuscule, but there is this NFT that I recently saw that like changes like over like time. And like being able to experience like an immersive piece of art that you own, I feel like is like nothing we've ever seen. And the fact that it's ever changing, like I would have a hard time believing that it would just completely crash and burn because of how many possibilities there are. Like, it's not going to hit like a dead end of like, all right, that's it. Like, that's all we could come up with, like there's just so much stuff that I feel like is to come.
So here's an example of like me going through the NFT rabbit hole. We have an artist that has worked on some projects for Caster Society. Her name's Emily Nancy. Wonderfully talented. You should check out some of her stuff. The promo card that we were handing out during the convention in Fort Worth was done by her. It was like Flatwoods Monster, kind of kamehamehaing something in the distance. But she's in an NFT project called Chubby Puppies. 6,000 unique personalities with a chubby physique and 100 a tweet. And I'm like, man, you throw a dog adoption benefit behind Chubby Puppies, I'm going to buy like 20. Like
That'd be
this,
great.
right? Like this is
Yeah.
what gets kind of cool is it feels like, especially when we talk about social benefit NFT
Yeah.
projects, where it's like a 501c3 nonprofit. They have this mission
Yeah.
and all the creator fees will go towards funding that. Like that stuff is awesome. And
So like I held a NFT fundraiser for my nonprofit, and like all of the proceeds went to like my nonprofit Jumpstart Designers. Like our mission is to get computers and Adobe CC to kids in underserved communities.
that is
And
awesome.
so this
By the way, everybody, we're going to throw that nonprofit in the description below. So definitely go check it out. And it was, I'm sorry, what again?
Jumpstart Designers.
Jumpstart Designers. I am all in favor of getting more kids access to Creative Cloud. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, digital art's a very expensive field to get into. And I think like when you look at the top NFT artists, a lot of them started at a very, very young age. And so it's like, how many kids are restricted from being able to even be in this field of opportunities? Like all these opportunities that we're talking about, like these life-changing things where it's like, you could buy a piece and it'll change your life, or you could sell a piece and it'll change your life. This isn't a part of some kids' lives, and it's completely out of their control. And I feel like if we could just provide more access, we could provide more opportunity. And so that's why I feel like I am so in love with NFTs, because I feel like all the possibilities of kids being able to go in and like sell their NFTs and work with all these NFT artists is like an opportunity that they would have never had they not had a computer or not had Adobe subscriptions. Totally. You know, it's just that important.
Well, that is a fantastic shout out. You mentioned earlier that you want to shout out your partner who got you into Metazoo. So how did he get experience with Metazoo? And then what made him decide, you know what, I'm going to get her to play some games with me?
Okay, so the Hungry Monk, we'll refer to him as the Hungry Monk.
The Hungry Monk, who's in our Discord all the time. Shout out the Hungry Monk. Hangs out in the Cash Study Discord. We love having him there. Played in the 250K. Did not do as well as you. You crushed it. Holding it down for the household. That's right. He can live vicariously through you. That's a good point.
Yeah, no, it was honestly, we were both just like, you know, if we make it, we make it. But like, it'd be cool if we did. And as I had lost my first 2 games and I was so physically.
So you were 0-2.
Yeah.
You were 0-2 to start, and then you made top 32.
And then I won every single game after.
Crushed.
And what was so crazy about the first game that I had played, I had the first game, it was like neck and neck. Second game, I demolished him. And then third game, this fool literally pulled Aurafact, Chaos Crystals. So by turn 2,
like
he
9
had
aura to play
8
with.
aura. Yeah.
Oh,
like
Lord.
Fucking a million aura. And I had 1 aura. And I was like, yeah, this is game.
This is going to be a problem.
Yeah. And so the second game that I played, I'm not even kidding. This might have been the best game like of the entire Caster Society or fucking Caster Cup. I had literally 10 LP. He had 610.
And you won.
And I won.
How'd you do that? Like, dude, just have like something. Have a fireball, have a lightning bolt. Come on, man.
What I did was I had luckily I was at the bottom of my deck. Oh, I haven't even mentioned that my deck is a whopping 56 cards.
Wow. That's aggressive.
56. It's a lot of cards.
That's aggressive.
And I was decking out. Like I only had a few cards left, and I knew I had a power up red at the bottom. Like I knew I hadn't played it yet, and I was like, I feel like I don't want to scoop because
it's in there. Mama Bear's gonna get it. I know
it's in there.
We're going to Sizzler, as Easton says.
So I had a frogman. I had a 2 bandage man. And I had killed one of his tokens with the bandage man, and it had created another token. So I had basically 3 like 70 LP like defenders, and then
Right.
I had mermaid, the river mermaid,
Uh-huh.
full power bred on that, and that's fucking
Wait,
saved my ass.
so River Mermaid Power Bred is how you knock that guy out? That is amazing.
10
That is
10
amazing.
LP.
That's
10
so awesome.
LP. Yeah.
So what were you
It was
playing? So you were playing Bandage Man, which is awesome. I'm a Bandage Man guy myself.
yes.
You were playing
Love him.
Level
He's
and
super
Lockdown.
underrated.
Yeah, he's so good. You flip
I
first
was
strike.
not playing Love and Lockdown.
You were not. Okay.
No, I was playing Torrential River.
Okay, interesting. Torrential River with the mermaid.
I was honestly,
and that's how you were decking out so quickly. With 56 cards.
Yeah. So I'm like all for, you know, like I'll tell you all my cards now, like after the cast.
Oh yeah, no, the money's in the bank. So now it's it's open.
You can know everything.
We would love that. Would be awesome. By the way, can we get you to send over your deck list so we can throw it up? I bet people would want to play it on the website.
They'll be like, what the fuck?
What is this nonsense, dude? Don't worry. Just power up red when you run out of cards on your River Mermaid. Call it a day.
You're good. You're
win.
good.
You're fine.
You'll be good.
Awesome.
But it was crazy. But I do Torrential River. And that's why I have the 56 cards. But a lot of them are like 0 aura costs or like 1 aura. And then I just have like crabs to protect, and then like frog and the fun stuff. But I only have 1 Chessie in there, and I usually get to pull them out at the very end. And because I have so many cards out because of Torrential River, it just is like all the damage. So
when you did title pool, were you intentionally like loading Chessie at the back? Chessie power up red?
I don't use title pool.
Calm down. Shut the door. Okay,
Yeah,
so what's your draw mechanic? How are you getting stuff out?
Okay, so Torrential River, obviously, once you play it, you bookmark a card for every water card that you play. Yeah. So I have 2 mermaid scales, 0 aura. I have 2 megalodon tooth, that's 0 aura. Yep. That's 4 cards I just bookmarked. Like right easy. Then and there by placing those. I run 3 toxic waters. That's 0 aura. That's now 7 fire. Cards that I just bookmarked for free. Like
that's like 12% of your deck, right there. Yeah. Of just free water drops for torrential
and aura. Aura is a free or like contract that, and you So that's 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, Bam. 30, 30. And I mean that's obviously like a lucky hand if I was able to pull all of it, but I've done it before. And then you have river active. Oh man, if you got river active, it's like game. Like I'm 30 on contract, 30 for every card that I'm contracting, and then fucking play River of Time.
Damn.
That's the move. But like, I have a lot of cards. When I went to go get the cards checked, they were like, so how many cards do you have? I was like, I have 56. I was like, what's the most cards that you've seen? And he's like, yours. I've never seen a deck this big before.
Well, so we have a particularly immature member of Caster Society named Dan. Dan runs a 69 card ice deck. With
I was just talking about that. I was talking to Purple Elf, and they were like, I can't wait to see your 86 card deck. And I was like, I'm stopping at 69, and that's
right.
it.
Yeah, that's the magic number.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he's got I'm gonna have to use the Caster Society website, shameless plug, but there's a whatever the 69th card in Wilderness is like it's like a snake or something like that.
Is it? Oh my god.
So that's what he plays with. Here,
that is so great.
I know, it's terrible.
I just plugged Caster Society today because
love that.
I was talking about I was talking to Purple Elf about that play that I did where I used invisibility on Frog.
Okay, can you tell me about that too? Because I heard was that you toxic watered Frog and then did something, and I didn't know what that something was.
Yeah. So Torrential River, when Torrential River is active,
right.
It's you play the toxic water. So you immediately get the 30. You get to bookmark a card, but then if you toxic water Frog, you take off his magic proof trait, And then you use invisibility, which is 2 aura cost, and you bookmark a card. But I found that invisibility spell because I was going through the database on Caster Society. And
You
that's
look
how
at
I was.
castersociety.com, you come up with all the hot strats. That's what I just heard.
Yep. I seriously, it was 2 weeks before the actual event.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I played it, and it was so funny because I want to make it my ringtone, but it's the commentators, and they're like, toxic water on Frogman?
On Frog?
And then they're like,
she is tilting. That's awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
That is so
awesome.
cool. By the way, I did find it is the Peninsula Python is number 69 out of 165 from Wilderness. So that's what Dan has. He's got a 69 card Earth and Frost deck with Peninsula Pythons and Snow Snakes.
Oh my God.
And Will's, everybody. Mr. Clone in the Discord. Feel free to send him nasty little gifs. But okay, so you're in day one, round 7, you just won. So you're 5-2. Round 8. What are you thinking? Because that's in my opinion, this is the craziest comeback that I've heard. That somebody went 0-2 and then gets to top 32.
So at this point, any deck that I have been able to play that wasn't lightning, I've been able to beat. And so I was like, the one thing that I was thinking was, please do not be lightning. Please do not be fucking lightning.
And then the guy puts down a lightning shard and you're like, mother.
No, he put down cosmic.
Oh, nice.
And I was like,
Score.
oh, you're done.
You're done, buddy.
He was such a cool dude. I hate having to play against people that like are so cool.
They're like wonderful human beings.
Yeah, I'm like, attack and kill your biggest person. I'm sorry. No. I finally was able to play a girl. It was my first time ever playing a girl. And she also had a water deck. And I hated playing against her because I was like, I have to attack your person. I'm sorry.
I have to charm your frog with my frog. Oh,
yeah. But at the end, I was like, look, these are the things that I think would make your deck better. You could totally take what I'm saying, or you could throw it in the trash. But here's some like suggestions
that you found on castersociety.com.
That I found on castersociety.com. I was actually, what I was saying was I was so sad when the Casters Cup was coming up, and I had felt like no one was talking about Torrential River. Like I was like, oh, like this is my break. Like no one's ever gonna suspect it.
Yeah,
and it's like
so out of left field.
Society Torrential River video, and I was like,
oh no, we outed you.
Yeah, you did.
Tuffy.
But you didn't have 56 cards.
No, we did not have 56 cards. I don't think River Mermaid was in there. Certainly Power of Red River Mermaid wasn't in there. So you made that your own and crushed it. I don't know if anybody else was running Torrential River that got top 32. Was there?
Yeah. No.
Killed it. Okay, so day 2, you are the only woman in the Caster Cup top 32. Rice Cake got close. The Ice Queen of Highland Park, long may she reign. I think she got like 36th or 37th.
Damn.
So we almost had 2, and we almost had like a 10-year-old in there.
I know.
Which would have been
honestly
insane.
Yeah, no, that 10-year-old, I was like, you should have been in my place because you deserve that.
No,
like,
you crushed it. You came on the scene and everybody was like, what is this acrylic TCG slinger doing in top 32? So your first, we'll call it like hour before round 1 starts. How are you? And I assume Hungry Monk was in there like, okay, here's, what we should build, or, oh, where you at? So you guys are figuring out, were you planning on building something new depending on where you were playing? Or was it like, we're going to Torrential River this thing and I might just do some tweaks based on where we're at?
So, like, I would say probably 40 minutes before Blitz was going to start. Yep. The idea that people could be making decks accordance to like the what was it called, the pseudo environments.
The 4-12 pseudo environments.
I was like, shit, I feel like we should try to make a different deck. And so we started building like a cosmic deck, and there was just so much to it. Like there was
Right.
oh, you got to do this and then search your spell book and then do this. And I was like, I would much rather die with the deck that I know than like try to learn this brand new deck that I know nothing about. And so the one time that I was able to play in the pseudo environment of the cosmic, like the stars and stuff, the person I was playing was lightning. So it didn't even matter. Honestly, I feel like the majority of the people played the deck that they like came into the tournament with.
Yeah.
Which made me feel better.
You're exactly right. That some people tried. Like I have a friend who was paired into the volcano section, so he tried to make a fire deck and he got wrecked because he'd never played fire before. But where I think people, and this is what I think we'll see moving forward in some of the more competitive events and even recreational events that have some of this fourth wall stuff active that is like random until the day of, so you have to start building it. I think we'll see people splashing in things like, for example, round one, Easton was playing in some area where a tree was active, and so he played Wood Devil of Coos County, and it was a lightning mirror, and the Wood Devil was like huge in the lightning mirror. He used it as a trap, got to flip it for first strike, killed a bunch of Hornet tokens, power up redded the thing, and then killed everything. Like that was an example of he's still running the same deck, he just threw in like one extra card.
That's what I did when because actually the first game that I played, they were gonna give me a game loss because I had brought my plant same as the day before,
right?
And
like any good horticulturalist would, Metazoo.
Obviously,
just trying to look after plant life here. Come on.
And on the fourth wall, it said like you could have a plant, and in the pseudo environment, there were trees right next to me. So I was like, oh, I'm going to play the Wood Devil of Coos County. And I'm playing with it and I'm wrecking the dude. Like I had a power up red at this point, and he had cosmic deck, and I was able to take out literally everyone.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden a judge comes over and is like, hey, did you contract that for 5 aura? I was like, no, I contracted it for 2.
I contracted this for 2.
I got my tree right here, my money tree. And he's like, oh no, actually we wrote in the documents that like, you can't do that. And I was like, but we just yesterday, everyone brought a tree.
Yeah. Everyone was playing this baddie for 2.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, because of the pseudo environment, we're not allowing that. But the weird thing was you could bring a fourth wall. You could bring four fourth walls.
Right.
And I don't know. You just couldn't play it, I guess. And so
I will say that one of the things that could be improved upon would be judging consistency, but it's to be expected with like, gosh, how many judges did they have? Maybe 30, 40, and a lot of them, it was their first event judging. So I think moving forward, we'll see more consistency.
Like, honestly, all the judges did so great. Like they were super awesome.
Crushed it.
I just think the blitz format needed like some loving on it.
So if you could give Mike and the organized play team at Metazoo suggestions for the next large in-person event, it could be blitz related, it could be just general kind of Metazoo organized play related. What advice would you give to that team?
I would say, because of how like mentally draining playing the game is, providing like good food there of like would be amazing, because the fact that like I didn't eat any of the concession stand food because it was like fucking diarrhea town, and like I was just living off of pistachios and cranberries because I couldn't eat the food. Like it was just like I wasn't gonna eat it, and I was so tired because we had stayed up so late because the registration got pushed back. So I would say maybe earlier registration, or somehow like online registration, and then better food vendors.
Did you feel zoned in on day one, like the whole way?
So by game one, I started feeling like the fatigue of like not eating and like just the excitement alone. And so I feel like, I don't know, it kind of like died down later on during the day, but I definitely felt tired.
So
Like,
one of the things that Easton and I have talked about, because he's in pretty good shape and he eats really well. He eats very clean.
yeah,
Is that he feels like the clean eating and the going to bed and getting your 8 to 10 hours, like that is such a competitive
so
advantage
crucial.
in
Yeah.
TCGs, because in sports it's like, oh duh. So he played D1 football at Arkansas and Baylor, and it was like everyone has to eat clean, everyone has to get their 8 hours. It's just
Yeah.
it's expected. But in trading card games and nerd culture in general, think like esports, it's like, oh, only sleep for
Mountain
4 hours
Dew.
and get you a
Yeah.
Mountain Dew, get you a Dr. Pepper, you're going to be in great shape, and just
Yeah.
caffeine your way to victory. But he thinks it's actually very competitive
It's a
to be clean
sport.
eater. Yeah, exactly. To be eating clean,
Yeah.
to be sharp between the ears. So it's
Like they
interesting
had
that you bring that
said,
up.
there was a study that like playing like a game of chess was like equivalent to like losing the same amount of calories as like a jog.
Yeah,
And so it's like I want to treat this as a sport. Like my brain is a muscle. Like if I'm using it to like play strategies, then why is it no different from me like lifting weights? I can't
right.
just like take in a whole bunch of caffeine and then expect to go to the gym and like think that I'm gonna feel good. Like
Right.
it's just kind of the same, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. Also, I'm a big chess guy. Why am I not losing weight? Chess.com. Come on, man. I play a couple hours a day. That's ridiculous. I guess I need to play more. I need to play more chess or play while I'm running. Maybe we'll have to.
The
We'll
Dr.
have to figure
Pepper is
that out.
offsetting it.
Is that what
That's
it
why.
is? It's the Well, this is normally I drink milk in the studio, which is a nice little synonym for beer.
That's
can't-
criminal.
you
You
can't
just
say-
drink milk.
No.
Just-
It's our code word on Twitch for beer, because you can't drink on Twitch. So I'm like, hey,
Okay.
fellas, let's have a milk. Let's get a nice frothy
Okay.
milk over here. Yeah, no, I don't just drink 2%
Gotcha.
or whole
Yeah.
milk.
I mean, beer's my
There you
drink
go.
of choice.
That's
so
Absolutely.
yeah.
Which
I mean, yeah.
during TCGs, that's critical. Have like a
Yeah,
like
not
a
milk,
midday.
though.
Not milk. The milk's not it.
No.
I'm really curious because I've had a really fun interview with Kate, who is another well-known woman in the Metazoo space, and you may not have been, but you certainly are now. Everybody knows who you are. I think you should change your Discord name to like the acrylic card slinger or like acrylic card something. Like you need to have something about the acrylics. But what is your advice to guys like me? I have a partner at home who I have yet to get involved in Metazoo. What is your advice to people that want to get wives, girlfriends, partners, sisters involved in playing trading card games? Like how did Hungry Monk do it?
I would say build their confidence up in the game to where like obviously you're teaching somebody who knows nothing about this game or how it works. And so I feel like building that confidence goes such a long way. So like when we were first playing, like I was winning and like I was like having fun because I was winning. Like he wasn't just destroying me when we were playing. So I felt like, oh, I have a chance. Like this is something that I could enjoy. And so I also feel like having prizes too. Like if you have a partner and you're like, hey babe, like, let's play this game and whoever wins, blah, blah, blah.
If you beat me, I'll take you out to that Tex-Mex restaurant you like, and you can have as many margaritas as you want. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's
like, oh no,
Margarita Metazoo Mondays. Oh my goodness. What did I just create with you on this call? That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing.
I feel like that's that. I mean, if you start building it into a thing like, let's watch our favorite TV show, like, let's do this, you know, like it's just a really fun, like I have an active mind. So I like playing games and doing stuff like that. So if your partner likes playing games or you want to get somebody who like isn't into Metazoo, that's a great way to do it. It was for me. So.
Right on. Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Before we end this call, because we've been on for a good chunk, I do have a couple of like fast Metazoo questions for you.
Yes.
If you don't mind. Just 3 really quick ones. Number 1, favorite card.
I mean, you're gonna make me
I am.
spell or beastie.
Card. Paige.
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 I mean,
She's like Power of Bread.
Power Bread. I would have to say Torrential River. It's my
Torrential-
baby. I
that's
feel
it,
like
okay.
I curated my Torrential River deck like no one's ever seen. You know, it's funny. I was playing a guy who we're not gonna name him because I don't know his name.
Right.
But he
knows who he is.
destroyed him.
He knows who he is.
Yeah, you know who
he's gonna
you
watch.
are.
You know who you are, Brad.
Yeah. I destroyed him and he had the audacity to say, so who built your deck? As if I was incapable to do it. But what's great was that I was like, I did. And then I was like, good game though.
Yeah,
and
good game, man. Can I give you some pointers? Yeah, and that was one of my favorite things about this weekend. I hope Kate won't mind me be shouting her out, but getting second place in an online event with a husband who's notoriously good at the game. Everyone was like, oh, so like Ed played for you? Or like, oh, so like you were making all these moves on the computer. And it's like, okay, well, now you see her on featured tables stomping people at like 5 and 2. It's like, what's up? What's up, man? No earpiece. Yeah, no earpiece. I'm not taking in any feedback. Yeah, so that was really cool to see.
He may have showed me the cards, but I'm the one who's playing. And to be fair, the Hungry Monk told me not to play that deck. So
and you were like, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You can flirt with 100 to 200. I'm gonna be in the top 30. It's gonna be fine though. Like, yeah, no,
the fact that he didn't do better than me, I was completely shocked. Like I was like, you must have just had terrible luck.
Because he's super good. I mean, he's like super good at the game.
Yeah, he's really good.
Well, that's awesome.
Not better than me though.
Not better than you. What's up? Documented. I'll laugh all the way to that $1,000 paycheck. Question number 2 is, who is, and this one's so inflammatory, who is your favorite Metazoo artist? And it could just be stylistically. Obviously, it's different strokes for different folks. But what Metazoo art style?
Kelsey.
Yeah, that Mothman is sick.
A Manta Ray and
Nasty.
Frog, and like those are my favorite beasties.
Crushed
so and she's just a talented artist. So
shout out Kelsey. That's
we'll
awesome.
have to collab one day.
There you go. Well, so that's my last question. As a digital artist, did you submit a fan art for 2022?
I did not.
Oh no!
I don't have
like I don't have time, man. I'm waiting for them to holler at me. Yeah. Okay.
Me and Mike have talked about some stuff, so maybe you'll see some stuff.
Hey, okay.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
maybe
you've had a chat. You've had a chat. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Emonee may be doing some stuff with Metazoo in the near future. Who could say?
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, anything else that you want to shout out? So we already shouted out your nonprofit. That's going to be a link in the description below, so you guys should go check that out. The Hungry Monk is who brought you into this game, so we have him to thank for having another powerful lady in the Metazoo community. Anybody else that you want to shout out before we wrap this up?
I love this. I love playing Metazoo. I just have been having such a fun time, and I'm glad that I've been able to like do this as a hobby and make top, and everyone's just been super nice and sweet to me, and it really does mean a lot. Like I think keeping this talk up of like hyping women up, I think you'll see more women in the space. And it's like, maybe if I could show myself, maybe another girl would feel confident enough to wear like acrylic nails at an event. And then there'll be people on the sidelines that are like, yeah, go. Cause that's how everyone was. Like, it was really awesome. And I feel so fortunate to be a part of such a awesome community. So just the community, I want to thank you guys.
That's awesome. Well, everybody make sure to keep your eye out on Emonee, or AKA acrylic something. We'll come up with some acrylic moniker. Caster Cup 2023, massive prize pool. I imagine we'll see her there, and she'll be a threat to be reckoned with. Emonee, I want to thank you for your time coming on and sharing your experience with NFTs, with digital art, with the Metazoo community. We're absolutely thrilled that you did so well and that you spent the time talking to us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, guys, we're going to see on the next one. We've got more interviews coming with other of your favorite casters from the Caster Cup 2022. We'll see you guys on the next one.